Paying attention to what we're doing. Tomorrow your quiz is over section P.1 and P.2. You have to know this stuff about the real number system. I'm not giving you the chart. You're just going to have a few questions that says, tell me what kind of a number this is. Or, where does this fall into? So you need to understand what these numbers, what this chart means. A rational number can be written as a fraction, a repeating or terminating decimal. An integer is like our whole numbers that we talk about, but the negatives and the positives. A whole number includes 0. Natural counting does not. Our irrational numbers are pi, e. Those numbers that have absolutely no pattern, there's no rhyme or reason to them. So if I asked you what kind of a number, where number 1 would fit into, what is the square root of 9? It's 3. So if I have just the number 3, where does 3 fit in on our chart?
Whole.
It is a whole, but is it a little more, can we get a little more specific? Natural. This is a natural number.
So then do you put natural and whole? Or
Nope, you want it to be as specific as possible.
So
You could put both, but I have to have the most specific one.
Also, like on the graph, which
These are questions.
on the graph when it shows like all the 4 squares and stuff, the one like is bottom, like
The more-
you
the-
go to the bottom, the more specific.
The more inside is the more specific, yeah. All right, what about pi? What kind of a number is pi? It's irrational, so you can just write irrational. Good. What about negative 4/3? Look at the descriptions. Negative 4/3, where would that fall? Rational. Good. All right, what about 0? That's a whole. Good. And what about negative root 81? It's negative 9, right? What would that be? Integer. Very good, guys. Good. You'll have like 2 or 3. It's 15 questions tomorrow, but there's only 6 that require you to actually do work. They're quick. Bet. If they're not quick, then, well, I'm just saying. All right, let's look at this. If I asked you to tell me, and this will be on your quiz tomorrow, what property is being being displayed in number 5? Associative. How do you know it's associative? The parentheses moved. Did the number order move? No. So associative. Guys, if you want to abbreviate associative, don't stop there. Give me a couple more letters, please. Don't call me names. It's not nice. You can do that in your head later on. Just don't let me know. What's going on number 6? Distributive. Good. So you can just write distributive. What's the other one? Commutative. What does that mean? The numbers move. Good. All right. 7 and 8. You're going to have questions like this. These can be difficult if you don't pay attention to what you're doing. When you have an expression, you have to use order of operations. Yes? Okay. Which way do we have to work? Inside out. Look, here's the inside, guys. That's where I want you to start. What is 12 minus 10? 2. Then what do I do? 2 times negative 5. Good. So look, I'm going to rewrite 17 plus. I'm going to leave this in parentheses just to make sure I simplify everything. So I have negative 10 minus 1. Now all I have left is addition, subtraction. So just work left to right. What's 17 minus 10? 7. Then 7 minus 1 is 6. There you go. Now look, I'm glad you said that.
No, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I'm glad you did, though, because say Matthew did that. He got all the way down to the end and just made a silly mistake of 7 minus 1 is 8. I would give him a majority of the credit for that problem because he showed me, hey, I know my order of operations. I know how to work inside out. I just made a bonehead mistake at the end. But if you guys don't show me your thought process, and a lot of you did not on your homework, I can't give you credit. I want to give you as much credit as possible, I promise. Right, Brandon? Don't I always try? Try to do my best. All right, let's look at number 8. A lot going on in this problem, but it's a fraction. It's just a big numerator over a big denominator. Simplify the fraction first. The numerator, then the denominator. So if I have division, subtraction, and multiplication, do the division and the multiplication first. What is 20 divided by 5? 4. And then what's 7 times 9?
63.
63. So what I have left is 4 minus 63. Agreed? Okay. Now on the bottom, I have 100 minus what?
50.
No.
Oh, I'm at
25. We're going to do this part first. So then 100 minus 25 is going to give me what?
75.
Good. So this actually works out to be what?
Negative 59.
Negative 59 over 75. That does not reduce. Don't worry about it. Now, on that one, if you guys forgot the negative, yes, I'll have to take a couple points off. But it's just a small mistake compared to if I can't see where you were thinking. All right, you'll have something like this. You'll have one that you have to graph on a number line. Before you even start the graphing process, tell yourself what kind of dots you're going to have. At this point, what is my dot going to be?
Close.
Why? Awesome. Good job. And then this one's going to be? Open. It does not include. So on your number line, all right, we've got negative 2 here, 0, 9. I don't have to see every tick mark, but I do need to see that the negative is on the left-hand side of 0 and the positive is on the right. So I'm going to have a closed dot here and an open dot here. Agreed? Guys, remember, don't make me guess. Make sure I know. And then what do I do in the middle? You can color in. Thank you. Look at this one. Open or closed? Open. So here's 0 and here's 5. So I have an open dot. What should this coloring look like?
All the way to the
Toward the right, but what should be at the end? An arrow. Good. If it's open-ended, if it's going to infinity, make sure you guys show me that. All right. Then we talk about our unions and our intersections. Remember, if you guys don't remember, this is a union.
together.
Yes. Very good. Everything together. An intersection is what they have in good. What they have. I apologize for my handwriting. I should have been a doctor. Okay, so which two sets am I looking at with number 11? A and B. So what does A have? Let's write down first, write everything A has. Okay, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. All right, now I'm going to look at B. What does B have? Why do I just put the 4? You're right, but why?
Because it already has it.
Good. You don't have to write anything that repeats. Very good. You write down everything in one set, then you look at the second set. If it's already been written down, you don't have to write it again. You just write down what's left over. What else you need to add in there?
And then 12 doesn't.
Okay, let's look at 12. 12 is intersection, so they have in common. So look at B, and then look at C. What do they have in common? Nothing. So we're going to write there that 0 or the circle with a slash in it. That's called the null set. Don't just write nothing or anything like that. Write the circle and the, like, no smoking, no parking, no diving, something like that. Okay, those are pretty basic, pretty straightforward. These last few we're going to do together, and then we're done. These are your favorite ones, guys. Because they're what? They're easy, you're right, but they're also what? Fractions. We love fractions. If I am adding or subtracting fractions, they have to have what? Common denominator. What's a common denominator between 8 and 4? 8. Agreed. Good. So in order to make this 8 on the bottom and 8, I'd have to multiply by 1. So if I multiply the bottom by 1, I multiply the top by? 1. So 7 times 1. Good. Very good, guys. So how would I make this 4 become an 8? Times 2. What you do to the bottom, you do to the... Perfect. So I'm left with 9 over 8. You can just leave it like that. You don't have to make it into a mixed number. Improper fraction is fine. Now if I scoot over here, I'm subtracting. So what's my common denominator going to be between 3 and 2? 6. Good. So 3 times what is 6?
2.
Multiply 2 on the bottom, multiply 2 on the? Good. Then I have over here on the right.
Times 3.
times 3. If I times 3 in the bottom, then I times 3 on the top. 15. Okay, so 6 is my denominator. What's 4 minus 15? Negative 11. Good. You guys got the negative. Negative. All right, we okay? All right, what are we looking at here? Nope, don't have to keep, change, flip. We're just multiplying. You don't even have to do that far. But guys, think about it. Do you have to have a common denominator? No. You could just multiply across. Does anybody want to multiply 12 times 39? No. First, check and see if things cross cancel. If you don't know right away that 12 goes into 48, what do you know goes into 12 and 48? 2. So just divide by 2 so that I have 6 and 24. Now it makes your numbers a little more manageable. What goes into 6 and 24? 6, good. So 6 goes into 6 once. 6 goes into 24 4 times, right? What about 13? What about 13 and 39? 3. 13 goes into 13 once, and 13 goes into 39 3 times. So what is this answer now? 3 over 4. Much easier if you cross cancel inside. It can be done the other way, but it's gross. Okay, now what? Keep, change, flip. I'm going to keep 63 over 5, change, and then flip. 9 over 10 becomes 10 over 9. Now this problem is a lot prettier. What goes into both 5 and 10? 5. 5 goes in here once. 5 goes in here twice. What about 63 and 9? 9 goes into 9 once. 9 goes in here 7. 7 times 2 is? Perfect. We okay? All right. Every quiz version is going to have something that looks like this. Again, guys, this is not anything to freak out about. It's just 2 fraction problems. And then you can divide at the end. Simplify the numerator first. Between 2 and 5, what's my denominator going to be? Agreed. So how did I get from 2 to 10? Times 5, so I have 5 on top. Minus, how did I get from 5 to 10? So I have 6. Agree? So simplify that. What do I have? Negative 1/10. Perfect. Now on the bottom, let's simplify the bottom. What do I do? Keep, change, flip. So 15 over 2 times 8 over 5. So what? 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 8, 4. 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 15, 3. So I'm left with 12. So this is what this problem looks like. If you get a whole number and you have fractions and you're dividing, what do you think I suggest you put that whole number over? Good. Because remember, we're dividing here. This is negative 1/10 divided by 12. If you don't like the way that looks, rewrite it as negative 1/10 divided by 12 over 1. If that helps you see it better, then write it that way. Because now you can plainly see when you keep, change, flip, you have negative 1/10 times what? 1 over 12. So just multiply across. You have negative 1 over 120. Good. Very good. And then the last thing, and then we're done. You're going to have to do the distance between 2 numbers on a number line. Now, you can draw the number line, right? You could go like this, and you could say, well, 24 is over here, and negative 7 is over here, 0 somewhere in the middle, and then count all the spaces. You could do that, but some of the numbers are going to be big. So you can do what I told you to do. If I write the number as A is my negative 1, B is my positive 1. This is my A, this is my B. There's 2 ways you can look at this. You can either say, okay, I'm going to use that little formula of the absolute value of B minus A. So it would be 24 minus negative 7, which becomes what? 24 plus 7. So my answer would be 31. Another way you could look at it, guys, just make both numbers positive. Take the absolute value of both of them and add them together. So if I asked you what the distance was between negative 17 and 38. Make them both positive. What's the absolute value of 17? Negative 17. What's the absolute value of 38? 38. So add them together and then you get your answer. You can do that. What would it be? 55. There you go. 55 spaces. But that is basically what your first quiz is going to be on. It's going to be categorizing real numbers and integers and all that stuff. You have to be able to tell me the properties, associative, commutative, distributive. You have to be able to add, subtract, multiply, and divide fractions. You're going to have to simplify some expressions that have a bunch of parentheses and stuff like that. You're going to have to know how to do those sorts of things. You guys okay?
Yeah, can you scroll up?
Oh, I can't.